Do any of you know of a show called Indie Cross? It's a small indie series that is made by Morrow, who states it as a fanfic series which uses several characters from several different indie games. And what do I love about this show? Is it the stellar animation? What about the amazing music? Or even what about the entertaining story? Well, my favorite part of the show is none of those things. My favorite part of the show is the characters. But why do I love the characters so much? Well, I did say that they are the greatest group of characters, according to the thumbnail. So, what is their dynamic like? And with these characters and their dynamic, it's just so wholesome. All these characters interact with each other in the most wholesome ways possible. Sure, their relationship starts off a bit rocky, but by the time they're at Grillby's, they are doing nothing but playing games and helping each other out. They are just so wholesome, and I love them so much. Now, why do I love these characters so much? But before I can talk about that, who are the characters? Well, in order of appearance, we have Shovel Knight. This knight is quite stoic, but is also very wholesome at times. He often takes the brunt of the blame when it comes to failing to save his friends, especially his friend and Shield Knight. But even when moping over his inability to save his friends, he still accepts the challenges of Cuphead and entertains Cuphead's silly little games. Though he can take things a little too seriously, which got both him and Cuphead into trouble at one time. And what better way to show how much I love these characters than a tier list? And Shovel Knight goes into a solid A tier. Overall, he's really likable, and even though he can be a bit brash at some times and fail to hear out the reasoning of Madeline, he is still very responsible. Now, for a character that is on the complete opposite of the spectrum to a comedic point, we have Cuphead. Cuphead is a kid who is very adventurous, but he is also quite reckless due to how adventurous he is. When he first encountered Shovel Knight, he started a fight with him for basically no reason. He says that he is suspicious of Shovel Knight for the fact that Cuphead believes that Shovel Knight only saved him so he could have the joy of killing Cuphead all to himself. Cuphead's weird words, not mine. But outside of that massive blunder, Cuphead brings a lot of levity to the situation. As mentioned before, he plays games with Shovel Knight and everyone else at Grillby's. He's in order to lighten the mood. And to get a rematch against Shovel Knight after getting his butt handed to him. He also has a very awkward chat with Madeline, which I find quite sweet despite the awkwardness. I can't wait to see what interactions he has with Nico in episode 3 or 4, because I'm gonna guess that it will be nothing but wholesome and happy. Maybe a little heart-wrenching? Cuphead gets an A tier. He's lighthearted, jovial, and brings much needed levity to the tense situations they're in. So far, we've talked about Knights and Cups, so what about someone who is a little more normal? Madeline and Badeline, because you can't talk about one without talking about the other. Madeline is just a normal woman. Other than having the ability to dash and having a spooky ghost lady, she's normal. While Madeline has depression and anxiety in Celeste, that unfortunately isn't really shown in Indie Cross. But I would like to see it in episode 4. Maybe as her reaction to what happened in the night. And with Madeline, she is Madeline's pragmatic side, as Madeline puts it. If Cuphead brings the levity to almost every situation, Madeline brings the more negative side to every situation, and the depression to every situation. Madeline for me gets an S tier. She is one of my favorite characters in all time, and also she is very pretty. Meanwhile, Madeline gets a B tier. She's an amazing contrast to Madeline, but she can be a bit too negative sometimes. Now, you may have heard me mention the Knight. Well, this is the little guy from Hollow Knight, as many of you may know, but what has this little guy even said to make me love him so much? Well, that's the thing. That's the neat part. He doesn't say anything. He is completely mute. And while he isn't the first character to do this in media, or the only character to do this in Indie Cross, he certainly is the cutest character to do it. I mean, look at him! He's so cute! And he has the cutest little dynamic with Madeline. He's always protecting her, and he puts the Dream Shield on Madeline to protect her. He protects her from Cuphead and Shovel Knight when the two of them attack her. And he makes the greatest sacrifice play as he sacrifices himself to protect Madeline and Drifter from Redursa. This little guy gets an S tier. I will make no further arguments. And finally, last but not least, the little gal who is a pal, the girl who went on a whirl, the little cat who ain't that.
Only got the one shot, so light it right and let him leave there living, breathing, not a slave to a broken machine.
Do I even need to explain why? She is so freaking cute. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. She is so lovely, she is so precious. She is my adoptive daughter, who I will protect with all my heart. If Nico has a million fans, then I am one of them. If Nico has one fan, I am one of them. And if Nico has no fans, then I am dead. We love Nico in this household. I'll take no further objections. She is beyond S tier. I love these characters so much. Their dynamics are adorable, and they have such cute moments together. However, I only covered the core cast, aka everyone who was in Grillby's, with the exception of Charlotte. However, if you want me to talk about the rest of the characters, feel free to let me know. And with all that said, Nico is the greatest little messiah to ever exist, and deserves all the pancakes and love she can get.